Hello, my name is Jack Frazier. Welcome to my project. This is my molecule drug portfolio, which I did on 3,4-methylene dioxymethamphetamine. Some general info here. The trade name, like I just said, is 3,4-methylene dioxymethamphetamine, which is commonly shortened to MDMA. The generic name is Ecstasy or Molly. The addiction risk and liability is low to moderate, and the DEA labels it as a Schedule I substance, which means it has no medicinal benefits. A little bit of drug history here. MDMA was first synthesized by German chemists in 1912. Professionals in health around the time experimented in search for any medicinal benefits, but to no avail. MDMA resurfaced in popularity as a party drug towards the end of the 1970s, where it was found at clubs and raves in Europe and America. While the drug was declared illegal in 1985 by the DEA, private researchers hunting for psychedelic cures for PTSD, those returning from war, and depression, that benefits did exist in those areas. In their research, the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies found that most patients dosed with MDMA and suffering from PTSD experienced a reduction in symptoms just a year after they had their experience with MDMA. MDMA, like most psychedelics, has few concrete medicinal uses. However, extensive research over the past 2 decades has sought to prove potential uses to treat bipolar disorder, depression, and PTSD. The mode of action, dosage, and potential side effects from taking MDMA. After MDMA is consumed, it is able to enter the brain due to its non-polarity, which means it's able to pass through the bilipid layer of the brain. Once MDMA has entered the brain, it works by increasing the release of neurotransmitters, including serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. It is worth noting that these are the neurotransmitters associated with happiness and euphoria that comes from different highs. MDMA in its purest form exists as a powder and is not soluble in water. It's a very nonpolar molecule. Most commonly, the powder is combined with an ionic liquid, usually hydrochloric, to create a sort of gel in water, which can then be put into tablets. The recommended dose of MDMA is anywhere between 80 and 150 milligrams taken orally, usually in the form of pills or liquid tablets, like I had mentioned already. MDMA can take at most 90 minutes to start functioning psychedelically in a person. With this said, arguably the most dangerous side effect of MDMA are panic attacks by individuals who are not familiar with that sort of experience. In addition, MDMA can cause psychosis, paranoia, and nausea in those unfamiliar with the psychedelic experience. And then here, something I thought worth noting while researching, this was an experiment that they did on monkeys. They dosed monkeys 4 days in a row with 80 milligram dosage, and this is the control, so this would be the normal brain of a monkey. And then this was 2 weeks after that 4-day span of dosing the monkeys. That's how low the serotonin fell. And then 7 years after, you can see it recovered a little bit, but not nearly as much as the monkey that didn't take it. So taking MDMA as a side effect, it's definitely worth noting that the happiness neurotransmitters can fall in population. So now we move on to the molecular structure, the focus of this project. The molecular formula is C11H15NO2. That's 11 carbons, 15 hydrogens, 1 nitrogen, and 2 oxygens. It weighs about 193.27 atomic mass units, or 193.27 grams per mole, however you'd like to look at that. Here's some of the functional groups. On the right side of the molecule, we have 2 ethers, sort of adjacent to each other. We've got an aromatic ring that both ethers are connected to, and then we have an amine down here with the nitrogen, which is affected in low pH ranges. Here's a little bit of VSEPR geometry. So you can see Red here stands for tetrahedral. That's those carbons bonded to 4 different molecules. It would be there, 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 and there. The blue would indicate trigonal pyramidal, which would just be our nitrogen over here, sharing 3 bonds. And the orange would be trigonal planar, found in all of our carbons in the aromatic ring. And then I believe we have 2 bent molecules, 109.5 degrees here in our oxygens. Hydrogen bonding to water. These orange circles here would indicate anywhere where water could hydrogen bond to the molecule. And you'll notice that it's only 6 instances, so it's a rather large molecule, and for only 6 areas available to hydrogen bond with water. So it's tough for it to be soluble there. A little bit on polarity and solubility, like I had been mentioning. The red circles here would indicate those bonds that are polar, those that would promote dissolving in water. And while a few polar bonds exist in MDMA, the molecule is in majority nonpolar. MDMA is insoluble in water and is listed as so on multiple accredited drug catalogs. To serve as an example, the European Union Drugs Agency tells MDA base is a colorless oil insoluble in water. Changes in surrounding pH. So on the top here, we have what the molecule would look like in high pH, which would be basic. You can see it doesn't change, so that's what it exists as normally. And then the low pH, the only change here is that this nitrogen becomes an ion and another hydrogen gets added on top instead of that lone pair. And that MDMA only contains 1 functional group that is affected. Like I just said, it's that nitrogen. This group is an amine, which becomes an ammonium salt. This altercation does not substantially affect MDMA's solubility in water. And then we got chiral carbons here. So just 1 right there. That's the only chiral carbon in the entire molecule, which means there's only two stereoisomers of my molecule. And then these are some of my sources. Thanks for watching.